This is the irony of Canada. Of course, I am going to fight for Palestinian rights because it's a settler colonial state committing violence. But I wish Canadians who are standing up for Palestine understood how incredibly hypocritical they look to me as an Indigenous woman. Today in Calgary, there's going to be a protest at the Grey Eagle Casino because Ben Shapiro is coming to Sutina. And, the Muslim community asked me, well, Michelle, can you stop that? I laughed at them. And I laughed because they've done no work. They don't understand Indigenous issues. They don't understand Indigenous sovereignty. They don't develop Indigenous relations. I will say to a friend of mine that I have been friends for years, I am Satu Dene. But to her, I'm still just a Indigenous woman. And allyship works both ways. You've never invested a single dollar in Indigenous people. You've never invested in events on Tsuut'ina land. You've never built relationships 364 other days of the year, so the one day you need it, it's not there. You don't understand tribal jurisdiction. And we have freedom fighters who get off no matter what. They never, get fines. They never get jail time. Meanwhile, Palestinian flags get fines all the time. And we've talked endlessly about the 94 calls to action, the 231 calls to justice, the problems that the Wet'suwet'en were facing. We talk about these things, and it's just not landing. It's just not resonating. You want letters of support because an Israeli company is going to be doing the sea train expansion, and why that's wrong. Of course I'll do that. I ask you guys to show up to vigils. I ask you guys to build relationships 364 days of the year. It's been 10 years since we've been talking about Palestinian issues together. Why? Why are we here? I try to tell people in the simplest terms, when you identify as a proud Canadian, you are identifying as the Israelis to me. It goes in one ear and out the other. Now, I know it's two reasons. One, they have the major anti-Indigenous bias that just stops them from hearing anything I have to say. And the other part is this vagina. Hearing it from a woman's just not going to be the same. So at a certain point, you're just wasting your time and energy. So if you are a proud Canadian and you are calling for a ceasefire on Palestine, continue doing that. Being silenced because I stand for queer Muslims and the queer community, it's hurt. So be louder so that you can educate these folks who are committed to gendered violence. And for God's sakes, reach out and speak up and build relationships with the Indigenous community, because it's unacceptable anymore. You can't hear it from me. So maybe you'll hear it from 6 other natives or before you'll hear it. But if you're a Muslim, you're in Canada, you got to start building solidarity with Indigenous people. You got to know the lands you're on. You have to recognize that. You have to start building relationships with those nations. That's what real reconciliation is. So, yeah, we're in a crisis right now. And I implore you, after the crisis, to start saying something, because this is unacceptable.